I notice clients are either bored or confused, or they start asking a lot of questions. I'm all open to the questions, but just understand that there's a lot that goes behind like pushing the button.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it simple.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. So today I am in Michael Toma's apartment. Thank you for welcoming me here in Daytona Beach.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
My pleasure.
Awesome. A cool place. And I wanted you to talk about, this is a topic that we get a lot of questions about. How to trade for other people, how to manage money for other people. And you're managing a lot of money, I would say millions, from people in China and different investors. So I want to kind of get the ins and outs, the tricks, what are the hacks, or how that happened. And for people that don't know you now, give them a bit of background about yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm a risk manager by trade. Obviously, I do some work from Desire to Trade, the Academy, and your members. But I'm a risk manager by trade. I do corporate risk management as well. I apply the same principles in my corporate risk management that I do in my own trading. I trade futures. I trade Forex. And a good part of my trading is also on the options space, options premium selling, which is a kind of a shift away from the traditional stuff. But yeah, and it's same concept, same objectives, but I'm a trading junkie like you are, and it's a fun living, but it's pretty much what I do. Forex is about a smaller part of my work time, but futures is my daily part, and options as well.
And how long have you been managing money for clients?
I've been managing my own funds, family, friends, for over 10 years, and I've been some outside capital for 4 years, on and off. It's just a different. The dynamics change a lot, and we'll talk about it. The dynamics change a lot when you're doing it for other people.
Yeah. I feel like, at least for me, when I did it, I saw this more as a job than as just training for myself. Would you agree with that?
It is. I mean, it actually became a job, and that's one of the reasons why I had to make changes in that space to do it. I really transitioned from being sort of a money manager to really engaging the team to where I've become more educational and delegating a lot of the trading activities to that thing. So they may be using my advice or they can see what I'm trading and things like that, but really I'm putting the burden on them to say, look, this is your capital. I'll help you. I'll oversee, but really the transition from money management, and we use that term a lot in today's days, where I see myself more as sort of, an overseer of a project now, as opposed to a sort of like money manager, trader, or hedge fund kind of a guy. It gets them more engaged, it's more transparent, and to be honest with you, it helps fulfill my sort of freedom lifestyle, because managing money, when you're in front of a desk the whole day, let's face it, it's tough to have that lifestyle that we look for when you're managing others' capital.
So that's what I was curious about, and I want to ask you, so do you do this way of like telling people to trade as opposed to you managing everything because you want to have freedom, or because of like other reasons?
Yeah, no, it's a combination of both. Clearly, there are a lot of reasons, and there's regulatory things and stuff like that. For lunch, but I also think I serve more value if rather than just here's money, trade for me. It doesn't really fulfill me in any sense whatsoever. I'd rather have them be engaged, and you'd be amazed how once they start doing it, they're like, by the way, how do you do that? How does it work? And so they're actually very excited. And I says, well, before I was like, well, if you really want me to teach you, that's kind of what I do as well. But it's really transitioned now to where it's, you have no choice. Like, I'm going to engage you and stuff. And I'm at the point in my life where I don't want to compromise my lifestyle for it. And but it works out really well. And there's I try to keep it kind of friends and family. Which is kind of good, but there's always times where you get demands, obviously, when you're performing to do that, and they're kind of sensitive things. But I manage it to where there's an educational component to it, because I want my clients to be engaged. I want them. It's kind of like giving back to do it, and also it makes them not just better traders, but it makes them better clients. So when I explain there's a drawdown or this or a really good week, they're not too excited on the good weeks, and the drawdowns are expected. So, and I feel that I have to do my part to educate them on that. So it's really like a team effort. And it's kind of like a cruise ship. They have the captain, you see him at the dinner and stuff like that. He's very rarely is he driving the ship.
Yeah.
He's got a team. So, and they do it very effectively. So I look at it as, yes, I'm sort of commanding this venture, but at the same time, there's a lot of hands, that I need to help me with this process.
Awesome. And we were talking about this yesterday at dinner, I think. So how do you get the money yourself?
Yeah, it's a good question. I had trouble answering it.
So there's two things. There's how did you get the money, and then how can people get the money?
Yeah, it's true. I think we talked about and the networking is a key thing. It's like it really applies to anything in your business. Like there is a sales, a marketing component to it, and I'm not like the best salesperson in the world, but I'd be happy to tell you what I do. If someone says, "What do you do for a living?" Sit down. Like I love telling my story, and some people that's like, "Hey, that's great. See you later," or "Tell me more." Yeah. And when I hear "Tell me more," I'm just excited. And so really just getting the word around, things like that. This element of my business is not the area where I really that's my next stage or what's your plan for that. It kind of, a lot of it just falls into place. And I always look at it as sort of, I can take my talents and knowledge and help others. And, it's an exciting part of it, of the trading business, managing for others. But, it does compromise a lifestyle. But to answer your question, I get it all the time. Like, there's a lot of different avenues. For me, it's just telling people what I do. In fact, I don't think I've ever once asked for, no, I know I haven't. I don't even know how to do it. Like, hey, would you like me to manage, or, you have an account, I can show you what I do and you can trade. I have never done that. Never will, too.
And that's something I've seen even for myself, is that people tend to propose you to manage their money. You don't have to ask for anything, usually. Yeah.
And then there's I put them in two categories. And I'm not being a stereotypical, but there's I don't just get this, so can you help me, whatever. And that's fine. But then these others where it's just easier for them. So basically what they're saying, I'm saying laziness, but they don't want to put the work in. And again, there's a market for everything. That's not my market. I'd rather have them engaged. But really, when you think of it, what are they saying? Well, I want to live my life and have my lifestyle. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll give you money so you can't do it. Yeah. That's not, I don't want to entertain that. Mm-hmm. So at least not at this point in my career. So if, asking, or keeping the money, keeping the topic and tell them what you do is most of it. And we'll talk about this. Now there's a lot of avenues where there are a lot of places like hedge funds, props, and things like that, where there's programs where they'll actually just start giving you money to trade, which never happened when I was younger. I wish I had.
Yeah, and even 5 years ago they were not there.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and I actually referred a lot of people just to go there. I'm not, I don't have the capability nor the desire to manage really like those type of accounts, but I'd be happy to refer them through your association, to your academy, where you have it all set up where they'll do it. Now you have to qualify, you have to show the effort and stuff, but in a sense, that's who I want to work with anyway. Yeah. I don't really want to work just the guy with the blank check. Don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Basically, I have my laptop, which you just saw there. I have my phone, which I'll use on the beach, things like that. And this is sort of a makeshift for my beach home, where I have the platform where I'll do a lot of my work and pre-work analysis. Earlier you saw, my Hikanashi bars, things like that. This is actually what they call a dome. So it shows price movement in relation to the highs and lows. So this shaded area this would be new lows here. Okay, so let me just pull up I'm in a short, futures trade here now. Hold this up. I don't know if you can see that a little bit, but clearly, we're in a downtrend, so I'm actually kept moving my stop, and pretty much I was about to probably be stopped out here, but which is good. It's a good trade, and again, a lot of this was done pre-market. We did some enjoyment on the beach, the videos, and I come back here and just manage it on my mobile. My laptop is there, but then I'll come here now that I'm back in my house and just kind of make sure everything's cool over here. So really using 3 pieces of technology really to accomplish the same goal. So I'm not sort of glued to my chair here. We actually did some work on the beach and did some trading on the beach, but really we're just managing the trade, which I find great. If I'm in a big position and I have to really watch it, I'll stay here. But if I'm just managing and lowering stops and locking in my profits and stuff, I can do that on a mobile. That's fine. The technology is great. So and that's it. And nothing like a beautiful view to make the trading experience more enjoyable as well.
What have you seen are the biggest challenges of trading for other people and managing money?
Transparency is a big one. I mean, I want them. Here's the thing. I think one of Ray Barrows.
Ray Barrows.
He's great. He talks about too. Is like he was saying, I'd get on the phone and tell him what happened today, like a bad day. But he'd also where you had like a good day. I want to normalize the experience of their accounts and stuff. So, on a good day, don't get too excited. Drawdowns, my phone should never ring on a drawdown day because they should know and expect it, that things like that happen. And again, and also I tried to teach them to be transparent where we're not going to have conference calls every other day. I'm just not going to do it. And you shouldn't. It's too granular. You should monitor the ship just like you're trading, like a swing trading thing. Maybe there's monthly updates, monthly reporting, and your customer, if you do this, you'll get a gauge of what type of information they're looking for. I'm heavy on the risk side, so I use a lot of risk metrics, value at risk, drawdowns, risk of ruins, all that kind of those like metrics, because P&L will come if you manage those correctly. So in a sense, that's transparency is big. I don't want those like crazy phone calls. And it's expected. And a lot of that too is trading small size. So you'll never be in that situation. In fact, one of the biggest challenges I have is, when are you going to graduate to higher level? Like, you're doing good, when are you going to do it? So I like to just slowly ride this ship, and it becomes, you're still feeling each other, client relationship, in any type of thing, you want to kind of make sure that works. And even after maybe a year into like a relationship, you still don't know. So you just want to be transparent, understand their needs. This is basic sales. I mean, you go to sales, what is it? What are your needs? How can I help you? It's basically in any business.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's good to kind of expand your business of like just trading, which are pretty much like the operation, and then transfer that to managing money business, where it's like it's gonna be more work, more parts, but I think the rewards are also there.
Yeah, there's definitely rewards. I mean, there's definitely a high to it, but there is a lot of work, and I got to tell you, one of the challenges for me is it does compromise your freedom lifestyle. I mean, there's no question. Are there strategies and trades that like I take on my own that I wouldn't have on a managed account? Yes, because there's certain risk parameters and things like that. Generally, it's more conservative. And the biggest pushback, like I said, is that they want you to trade more, or let's increase size and stuff. Yeah. And so there's a lot of that going on. But again, you just get to know your clients up. But when you have, I try to have my core strategies applicable to all lines of my business. So that's part of the transparency where I understand. So I can really know what the accounts are doing just by looking at one platform. I don't have to go be checking like P&L all the time.
That's awesome. Do you show all the stats to your investors every month, or do you kind of simplify things so that they understand better?
Yeah, that's a good point. In my communications piece, I keep it relatively simple. But as they get more knowledgeable and educated, I'll throw in more stuff. Okay. One of the things I've done is from a compliance side, there's risk management has a lot of compliance and regulatory stuff. I notice clients are either bored or confused, or they start asking a lot of questions. I'm all open to the questions, but just understand that there's a lot that goes behind like pushing the button. Yeah. So I try to keep it simple. The challenges they take, they go to that bottom line. What's the P&L for the month? And if you had a great month, but you took absorbent amount of risk, that doesn't do it. And I have parameters to limit that, but but you do have to educate the customer. It's much more than P&L. But unfortunately, that's like the number one question.
And how did you decide on the piece that you get? Is it them that decided, I'll give you like X% per month? Or is it you that set your term and kind of what are the benchmark that you can...
Yeah, I mean, I set my terms and stuff like that. It's, most clients, and if you do most, they're they understand it's a business, and it's paid. A lot of it is being paid for my time and my expertise. I also have educational components that I require, and things like that. So there's the fee structure incorporates a lot of things other than just trading. So, but I try to control the shots. Excuse me. If they're not happy with it, I'm certainly willing, to kind of play around with it a little bit. But I'm always considering my expertise, but also my time. This is, it's going to take some of my time up, so I look at it as a consulting thing. And I'm paid for my expertise, and I'm paid for my time. And a lot of times, clients will look at, I want your expertise, but my time is valuable as well.
Yeah. So right now you're managing millions for them, for different clients. How much time does that require on a weekly basis?
That's good. It gets less and less thanks to technology. And also, if you can engage, for example, if you can engage the people that you manage for to do a lot of the legwork, execution, things like that. If my strategies are transparent, anyone can do them. Yeah. So why not have them do it? And it also helps me from a lot of reasons, from the how the relationship is set up and things like that. Obviously, for family-based accounts, which I try to focus on, that's different. But in a corporate structure, let them do it. From a time perspective, honestly, every month it gets less and less. Every year it's less and less. A lot of my strategies, are automated, so it's very little. The reporting, though, does take a lot of time. So the first of the month, second of the month, I'm usually, that's like a lockdown period for me. Not just for that, but for my own personal account.
Yeah.
So, I'm just doing a lot of journal reviewing, things like that. So there's a little busy there. But for the most part, it's not like a daily thing where it's 2-3 hours a day. I would never do it if that was the case.
And from a kind of legal standpoint, because since you're teaching them, what makes it that you will still getting the money later on? Because they could just decide to trade themselves and kind of push you away and just do everything themselves.
Actually, that's my goal. I mean, really, it's if I can, help them set up the venture, and then have them engage in it, educate, and then eventually it's like the recipe for me losing that client. That's fine. That's actually my goal. I'm not afraid of that. Okay. If it doesn't happen, I'm actually discouraged. In fact, I've actually promoted this is how you can do and almost I become like a consultant role. So really when I start the money management side of it, I'm really there to set up to eventually become a consultant. So I'm a consultant on their team. And I'll advise. I do, just like we do for your academy members on the risk side. If they need reporting, I'll help them with that. Auditing, trade journals, things like that. Looking at compliance rates. That's kind of what I like. So you could tell my voice. I'm probably getting more passionate about that than the actual trading. That is the ultimate goal. I love to do that. And that would apply not just to individuals, but to prop firms, to hedge funds. That's really where my passion, my expertise is. So I really want to hand over those reins, relatively short period of time. But there's an educational component, and I think a lot of times once they first see the massiveness of all they have to do, they get a little intimidated. But I become their partner then, and to me that's my sweet spot. I can help them. I'm a risk consultant by trade. That's what I love doing. And it doesn't compromise my freedom lifestyle. That's a cool thing. And in the beginning, like you said, it's your trading account, it's tough. You have platforms all over different account opening and stuff. But I love that space. And my goal is to get there as quickly as possible. And if at time when someone says, we don't need you for anything, which they always do because risk reporting and stuff is tough. I mean, that's a unique thing. You can't even do an audit and even have it certified unless you have an auditor or a CPA or certified risk management stuff. So, but if they just want to do internal, that's fine. I mean, go ahead. But if I get that call and say we don't need you anymore, that's great. My job is done.
That's interesting. That's not what I would have expected, but that's interesting to hear. Of course.
Yeah, maybe move on to the next.
Yeah.
But it's my philosophy too is kind of make the world a better place and enrich people's lives. And if I can, that's a combination of both on that. It's okay.
And that proves that you have not a scarcity mindset, but an abundance mindset of there's always more money that you can get from different investors, and that probably makes it that you always get more money. People that are scared that they won't get any money in the future, they want to hold to the money now, they will get more money. They won't be able to kind of grow their money.
If you have the knowledge or skill set and a very unique skill set, I mean, the world is abundant kind of thing. And I actually like the challenge of that, trying new things. One of the things that too has helped me a lot too is the automation part of this business, auto trading and things like that. That actually, most people look at that as like a risk to people, like who manage money and stuff.
Yeah.
It is in a sense, but that actually has opened up a lot of doors. So now we'll do like coding audits and journal. So I look at like the glass is always half empty where, what's next? What's next? I'm guilty of I get a little bored a little too quickly sometimes. And I get bored with routine. Mm-hmm. So I like that. And I like working with different people too, from different countries. So you have like cultural challenges and cultural differences. And who doesn't want to do an audit in Hong Kong? I got the call. All right, I'll be there. So that's part of the cool thing. So.
It's awesome. So if you guys have any question on this, make sure you comment below in the comment section. Michael, I appreciate this once again for you sharing your knowledge, your tips and stuff. People are loving them so far. So you guys put in the comment section once again. Here are a few comments from the past. We appreciate you always for your comments. And I will catch you back here pretty soon.
Ciao.